I'm Fion. I'm a visual artist and I'm a fresh graduate from LCC MA Photography. I thought to use photo collage as the method for my art practice, and that's because during the pandemic I wasn't able to go out and take pictures. So I started to take pictures at home instead and to combine images in Photoshop, which I really fell in love with. I use a lot of colors and bodily gestures to talk about my subversive attitudes towards my family's expectation on me, which is unquestioning filial piety. And by saying so, I mean totally, absolutely following the family's decisions and expectations without questioning. All these happened since 2016, which is the year of my grandmother's death. And after she's gone, there are so many family conflicts just came up to the surface. So I decided to respond to all these family conflicts and expectations in my work practice. I was born in Hong Kong, and when I was small, Hong Kong was still a British colonial city, so I got a lot of influence from the British culture. And the main influence is about individualism. It's how we see ourselves as important as people in groups. And I guess that's a main difference from the Chinese culture, that people value collectivism over individualism. For me, I'm talking about my family issue from my perspective. And I know that my family wouldn't agree with me in some point, but I still speak it out and I still kind of reveal it to the public. And I guess that's because I am very influenced by this Western perspective of like seeing individual emotions importantly. So my project, The Skeletons in the Closet, is referenced from a set of Chinese folktales called 24 Paragons of Filial Piety. And filial piety is a very important value in the Confucius belief, which is a set of Chinese belief in morality and ethics. I have a personal link with the folktale, because my dad used to tell me some of those stories when I was small. So it's more like a bedtime story to me. And every time when he finished talking about the stories, he would ask whether I would do the same thing as the loyal children in the stories. And I would just say, no, maybe I'm not that kind of children, because I realized I'm quite rebellious in general. I mean, I love my family and I respect them, but I guess the definition of showing respect from me and from my family is a bit different. My voice is usually underheard because of my gender and also my role in the family, because I'm young and I'm a woman. So that's why we always have conflicts, and that's why I always keep feeling that my family doesn't really understand what I want to talk and what's my intention of talking about all the family issues to the public. So in my project, I always turn away from the camera, and the only model in my images are me, myself. So I guess by turning away, I really want to show how subversive I feel towards this kind of preset values in my society. And also, I don't really want to show my face to the audience because I adapt a surrealist approach in my project. And by showing face, I realized that it's too realistic to let people feel the atmosphere of the photographs. One of the images shown in the Fabrica window is stealing oranges for his mother. And the story is originally about a loyal son who went to his relative's house to stay overnight. And when he left, people realized that he actually stole some orange in his bed. And then he explained that, remember, my parents, especially my mother, love eating oranges. And immediately everybody just like praising him, saying that, oh, you're such a loyal son, you still remember your parents. I mean, all these stories are not like based on reality and they are just like folktales. But this can see how Asian Chinese value filial piety and loyalty to the family. Basically, you have to sacrifice yourself and do everything they want you to do. This is a photo collage, so I didn't actually buy 300 oranges, but instead I bought like around 20 oranges and I brought them to a hotel room. And I did it session by session, which means that once I finish one session, I take away all those oranges and then put them in another session. And after that, I took one background image and I tried to combine all the previous orange images. And for that orange image, it took me almost 2 weeks to just do the editing. So the editing process is so long. It's much longer than the shooting process, but I enjoy it a lot. I love working with Photoshop and it's almost like digital drawing for me. Color is a very important element in my photography. Sometimes when talking about family issues, it's never easy because I really do respect my family, but sometimes I really can't agree with what they believe in. So this kind of like struggling feelings to me, it's not easy to really like reveal to the public sometimes. And by using colors, I am able to show this kind of contrasting emotions and feelings a bit more. So the image Tears that brought bamboo suit from the frozen earth is another image will be shown in the Fabrica window. And that image referred to a story where a loyal son was crying in a winter forest because he couldn't find any bamboo suit for his father, and his father would not recover from his sickness. And that touched the high god in the heaven. So the god decided to just like grow some bamboo suit for him immediately. There are so many tissue papers on the sofa, which is a kind of impression that I'm crying in the photo. And I turn away from the camera as usual, pretending that I'm crying with my arms. I am really just one of those rebellious kids in my family in general, and I always question things since I was very small. Sometimes when I didn't get the answer from my family, and I would still expect to do things they asked me to, I would feel very uncomfortable. So the crying moment is also when I was rejected on several things and I was not able to explain myself well in front of other people. Even now that I'm a grown-up, I still ask questions and I still don't really get the answers most of the time. But I kind of get used to it, and I feel like this is also a magic of how you interact with your family, because I guess in different cultures we have this thing is called generation gap, when your family's value doesn't really reflect in the contemporary world and you're living in this world that you think it doesn't really match. So I am always confused by what people tell me from outside, because that doesn't really match with what my family expect me to do. So this is still the question that I'm exploring, and I'm asking myself what I can do and who I am most of the time. So I guess I need to just continue to make artworks to find the answers for that.